So we've got three stories today. First up, we've got Pokemon Go. If you thought microtransactions were going to disappear in this game, well, you would be sadly mistaken. Pokemon Go has earned $894 million just this year. This is the best year Niantic has had since the game was released. This is a free-to-play game, or freemium, which is Latin. It's got two parts to it. Free, meaning free, and mium, which means not really. So, you can play the game free to play, but there are plenty of different things that you can buy in this game, including Pokeballs, more space in your crate, and more space to carry around items. In the first year that this game was put out, just to give a little bit of context here, they pulled in $832 million. That game released in June, so they managed to pull in a ton of money, and if you remember correctly during that release, servers were down a lot in the first few weeks. They had a lot of issues, a lot of bugs that were eventually ironed out, but I recall myself having a hard time trying to get into the game. The biggest spenders this year are the lovely people of the United States, accounting for 38% of that nearly $900 million. Japan was followed closely there at 32%, so between those two countries, they accounted for 70% of the overall growth, of the overall spending, of the overall profits that Niantic has received. This year, the company was able to boost their profits even higher by introducing the nefarious Team Rockets. This blasted their profits off again. Ting. Overall, Pokemon Go has finished 5th in the power rankings of the most profitable mobile games out there. Taking the top spot, this is Honor of Kings. This is a 10-cent game, so go out and check that one out as well. It's clearly done well because they've made a ton of money, or it's got a ton of predatory microtransactions. I'll let you decide on that one. As a reminder, Pokemon Go is having a glorious community day. This is the first community day of 2020. It will be held January 19th at 11 a.m. local times in the Northern Hemisphere and 3 p.m. in the Southern Hemispheres. You can go ahead and check out a video right over here talking all about it. Our second story is all about Doom Original and Doom 2. They have a gigantic free update that went live yesterday as of time of this recording. The update was first announced back on their Doom Anniversary live stream on December 10th. Doom, just recently, about 1 month ago, has turned 26 and is no longer eligible for their parents' insurance. I'm going to quote here directly from the patch notes. We will continue to add content that is a mixture of official Doom and Doom 2 add-ons, as well as some of the best of the community episodes and megawads released for the original Doom games. So there's still a ton of content. These games are 26 years old and are still receiving tons and tons of updates. Yes, this was the re-release that came out last year, but let's face it, they're still making the games, they're still making things for the games. These games now support 60 FPS. This is up almost double from their previous 35 FPS. So these games are going to look buttery smooth compared to it. These are FPS that they could only have dreamed of 26 years ago. As for the aspect ratio settings, you have the options to play it full screen or in the original 4:3 context. So these were the way the games were originally meant to play. Back in the day when this was made, believe it or not, our monitors weighed probably 50 pounds and were square. So you now have the option to shrink in the sides a little bit, squeeze it down, play in that 4:3 aspect ratio, and really have a good time. They've also added a quick save and a quick load feature. This can be accessed through the pause menu by hitting the left trigger bumper, depends on what you're playing, if it's PlayStation, Switch, or Xbox. They also have a quick load feature that functions much the same way by pressing the opposite side. They've also added in a weapons carousel, so you no longer have to scroll all the way around just to get to the gun that was one back. So, that's pretty fantastic. They also have a quick cycle feature. So, if you press up, you'll be able to get the shotgun If you press right, you'll be able to get the chain gun. If you press down, you will get that rocket launcher, and left gets you that sweet plasma rifle. They've also retooled the split screen HUD a little bit, kind of made it a little smaller, giving the overall game more real estate on that big, beautiful screen that you're playing on. The patch size is roughly 370 megabytes. That all depends on what you are playing on. There's a plus or minus 20 megabyte size here. This is supported on the Android, iOS, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox One, and PC. So, you have plenty of options to go out there and play it. I highly recommend the games. They are a blast. Being the retro gamer here, I've loved these games ever since they first came out. Our last story is about Fallout 76. Yes, we are talking about Fallout 76 for the third day in a row. And for the second day in a row, this is a happy story. You can now adopt a Deathclaw. There's the Deathclaw Adoption Agency that is run through the Couriers faction. You can adopt one of these lovable, misunderstood creatures and bring it around with you everywhere you go. These are friendly player-created factions of Deathclaws. These aren't the crazy ones that are going to murder you out in the wild, though they will attempt to murder anyone who intrudes on your camp. Much like trying to adopt a dog from a shelter, the courier service has a strict vetting process, and they vet every single person who is eligible to adopt one of their lovely little Deathclaws. They want to make sure that you treat your Deathclaw properly, have plenty of food, water, and space for them to play. There are some players who try to trick the system, hack the system, try to trick other players, and the courier service does have a list of those who have tried to flim-flam, swindle, hoodwink any of the people out there, other players. So they have a nice running list that you can find through their faction site, so you can avoid these players at all costs and don't get swindled. Don't get screwed out of your brand new baby giant Deathclaw. If you're feeling adventurous and you have the Animal Friend perk unlocked and have leveled it up 3 times to unlock the tame animal aspect, you'll be able to attempt to tame a Deathclaw yourself. Now, this is not a guaranteed process, but it is possible. What you're going to do is try to find a lone Deathclaw spawn. If you try to find one that's in a group, you're going to die. That's just that simple. You're going to die, or they're going to die. Someone's going to die, or you're going to run away like a scaredy cat. So if you can find a lone Deathclaw spawn, you could then attempt to tame it. Now, one of the tips here that the couriers do give out is that you should try to find one that is about half your level. That will give you the best success for this. It's still not a guarantee. There is a chance that your new pet will kill you. Well, it's not your pet yet, but after you've successfully tamed it or successfully have adopted one from the courier service, your Deathclaw still has a chance to die. See, all of your pets, no matter what you get, whether it's a Deathclaw down to a Rad Roach, that would be an interesting pet, but I wouldn't recommend it. They will stay in your camp unless you bring them with you. They will try to defend your camp to the death. So, this means if any intruders try to venture into your camp, they will kill them. And it chips away slowly, so if you've got a whole swarm coming in, maybe you've got a whole bunch of players trying to raid your camp, there you could kill it. Boy, I'd really like to adopt a Deathclaw, but sadly, I cannot. I do not qualify for one of those because I do not have Fallout 76. But you know what you got? A great show today. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day.